This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our partner, Audible.
Yes, it is. So we are partnered with Audible. That means that if you are looking just to check it out, you don't want to put your card in and just take the dive. You can get 30 days for free on us. If you go to audibletrial.com/JATG or click the link down below, you'll be taken there. You can sign up for 30 days for free and just test it out. Like there's a lot of stuff on there that you can get for free, a lot of Audible exclusives. But what I really like about Audible is that out of the hundreds and thousands of audiobooks that they have, if you decide to purchase something, that is yours forever. Like if you decide not to carry on your subscription or you want to take a break or whatever it is, you can always go back and listen to that book whenever you want through the app on the internet. Doesn't matter because it's yours. So once again, you can get that for 30 days for free on us if you go to audibletrial.com/JATG.
I remember going live is as quick as 1, 2, 3 when it comes to Twitch. Hello, Twitch world. Welcome in, Johnny and the Greg. I'm Johnny. That's the Greg.
We are Johnny. I'm Johnny. That's the Greg.
Yep.
How you doing?
And I've got feedback.
No, that was me. I think that was on
Oh,
my
that was you.
microphone. Yep.
Okay.
Learning how that we go. Back for Johnny and the Greg podcast. Thank you for joining us. Remember, all comments welcome. Greg,
Yeah.
that was a hell of a game. I didn't think that was coming.
I didn't either, to tell you the truth. I did not.
Uh
I did honestly. I would have been. I was happy we made it to the wild card. I mean, I didn't think we would have made it that far. As evidenced by some past shows.
Uh-oh, we lost Greg. Greg's out. Oh, no, there he is.
Oh,
We got him back. Yeah,
sorry.
that's all right.
If you go back to like week 5 or 6, I would have not thought we were going to make it to the playoffs. And
Yeah.
then we did.
That was an impressive one. I will give you that for sure. I was still shocked by it. I was like, oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, they're gonna keep going. Yep, they're gonna keep scoring. That's what they're gonna do here. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was congratulations, Packer fans out there. That's I think we can safely say, I'm gonna go on a limb and say you might have done it again with another good quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, I mean,
I don't think that's ever happened in the history of the league, Greg.
three
No.
really good quarterbacks in a row.
Yeah, back to back. I don't
Yeah.
think that's ever happened. So whatever you guys got going up there in Green Bay, that's you guys know how to pick them. Either that or you're really lucky. So
Well, but let's not discount the running game. Like we actually have a running game because even when we had Favre and even I'd say with Rodgers for a while, like our running game was not great.
no, it didn't have to be.
Well, you're right, it didn't.
Yeah.
But now I feel like we still have a good running game and we've got a good quarterback. So I mean, it's a good package.
Can I let me refresh that? I don't think you have a
Yes.
good running game. I think you have a good running
All right.
back.
Okay, sure.
Well, I mean, when I saw 31 in there, he didn't seem to do what 33 did in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm pretty sure they're calling the same playing plays. So you're blessed with a really good running back. He's been good for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you watched any other playoff games or no?
I caught a little bit of the Browns game,
Okay.
and I caught a little bit. What was the other game that was after that?
Kansas City, Miami.
Yep, I saw some of the Kansas City game. I saw Mahomes' helmet get smashed up.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
But I want to draw your attention to that Kansas City Miami game.
Mm-hmm.
You have Peacock, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. For those that don't have Peacock, we couldn't see that game. That
Yeah.
was nowhere else. That was a Peacock only thing.
Mhm.
I think that is a litmus test for
Yeah.
what the NFL is going to start doing.
Yep.
Do you think within the next 10 years we're going to have to pay to watch the Super Bowl?
I I don't know. I mean, there's so much ad revenue generated already. Like, do you think they're just going to get even greedier and say it's going to be pay-per-view plus there's going to be ad revenue?
I can't believe you asked if they're going to get greedier.
Yeah, I know.
Or if they're going to get greedier. I think it's for sure. I think that's what's going to happen. And my question I'm going to throw out to you and to whoever's listening to us out there. I don't even know if people are listening to us right now. For some reason, I can't get the chat up.
Oh, really? I've
I
got
don't
Twitch
know.
chat going.
Yeah, so I guess you're monitoring chat talk today because I don't know. Oh, there it is. There's the chat. I got it. That was pretty simple. To the I'm going to throw the question out to you and to our people watching our Twitch stream. Is that fair? Is that the right way to go? Are they going too far? Are they getting too greedy
Oh, I think so.
to only to force you to have to subscribe to whatever? I mean, Disney Plus, whatever it's going to be one
Right.
day.
Well, because I think the other thing is, I mean, Peacock exists right now,
Yeah.
but as we even seen, I mean, Warner Brothers had a merger recently. There's one, was it Paramount? Like Warner Brothers is thinking of buying Paramount, so then Paramount Plus would go away. So there's mergers all the time. Like it wouldn't, I don't think it would stay on Peacock. Like
No, I don't think it
contracts
is.
are gonna shift.
Peacock, I think they paid like $10 million for 2 games.
Really.
Yeah.
And I won't be surprised if the NFL, which has a streaming option, I believe,
Yeah.
they'll just say, well, we'll just put it on our own streaming network. And if you want to watch the Super Bowl, you have to watch it there. And the thing about that is, I think there's enough people that would be like, I'm out.
I bet you there wouldn't be. And the only reason I say that is because I know bars won't say that. Bars won't say I'm out. So you can always go to the bar and watch it. But I guess if you're talking about, I know for a fact, Greg, let me ask you this. You don't consider yourself a diehard Packer fan, right?
Not as much as others.
Okay. But so
okay, go ahead, finish.
What I'm asking is that you then, like, I know that if the Bears had a playoff game and I had to get a subscription to Peacock, I go to a bar because it's 3 hours. That's all I care about your Peacock channel is 3 hours of watching my Chicago Bears.
Did they do that? Were there bars that were showing games on Peacock?
Oh yeah, because Peacock has the what do you call it? It has the soccer on there.
Okay.
Peacock's on soccer. So if you go to a soccer bar that normally shows soccer, they have that Peacock channel.
I don't think they're doing that legally. Because the thing, yeah, because it's the same with any pay-per-view.
But that's
like
not pay-per-view.
Well, but it's the idea of like you're broadcasting a product that you don't own. Like when you pay for a streaming service, you're just renting it,
right?
More or less. I mean,
right.
So if you do it to a wide group of people,
yeah,
that's illegal.
Okay. So you're saying that if you and I own a bar and you and I rent you and I subscribe to Peacock, we can get in trouble because we invited friends over?
Mm-hmm.
So if I come over to watch a game with you and you're serving me drinks and food, that's
if
illegal?
If it's at your own house, that's one thing. If you're a place of business that pays taxes to a government as a place of business, and you're having a large gathering of people that are not just family and friends,
okay,
like, and you're selling product, drinks, food, things like that,
yeah,
and you're streaming a paid for service,
yes,
that all those other people that are coming into your business are coming there to not pay for that service,
right?
That's illegal.
Then explain to me pay-per-view all these years when they do
because
that.
pay-per-view, you're not supposed to do that at a bar. Like there have been bars that get in trouble for that, for like boxing matches, for MMA.
Okay, like, they may be, but every bar I've gone to has always done that.
They're like I said, they're doing it illegally. Like I've searched for bars. I've searched for bars around here that have like UFC fights or boxing matches or stuff like that. That's pay-per-view, and they're like, we can't do that. Like that's
really wow. So you guys follow the rules in Wisconsin. Good for you.
Well, and I'm sure there are plenty of establishments that don't, but if they get caught, then they get fined like a ton of money. And
I'm
that's why you
pretty
have,
sure in the Chicagoland area, if the Bears went on to Peacock, I'm pretty sure I could find a bar where somebody had that subscription and we could go there. I'm pretty sure I could do that.
I'm sure you could.
But I guess
It's just the
my
idea
point
you're
is
not
forget
supposed
the
to.
legal thing. I'm sorry we went down that loophole. I'm sure you're 100% right on that. I just can't see that stopping the world. Um, my question is, are you that big of a Packer fan where if you didn't have a paid prescription,
Mhm.
would you get one just to watch a playoff game?
I don't think so out of the principle of it.
Right. So I guess to go back to what you originally said, it could hurt the NFL because even if a bar were to do it, it's not every single person buying that
Correct.
subscription.
And that's what
Yes.
I mean.
Right.
That's why I think it would be foolish for them to go to that model
Yeah.
because there are enough there. I mean, there are people that don't give a shit about the Super Bowl that watch the Super Bowl because they watch it for the ads or they
Right.
go to the party.
Right. Yeah.
And in which case all that ad revenue is still getting in front of the faces of the people that don't care.
Right.
And that's an international thing. There were people, I mean, and maybe that's why they might think about that model because the commercials, like if you 10, 20 years ago, if you were saying, I don't want to watch the game, but I'm here for the commercials, then, you know, it, there were typically two groups of people. There was the people
Yes.
that are really into the game.
Yes.
And while they were really into the game, other people were at the snack tables having conversations, stuff like that. And then when the commercials would come on, the people that didn't like the game, they would go to snack table, and the people that are into the commercials would go watch the commercials. Um,
Do you think that
the,
that's a big deal anymore? Like commercials to
that's why
commercials?
I'm heading with this is that I don't
Okay.
think that's as big as a deal as it used to be because
Yeah.
half of the commercials are available on YouTube
Not only that, they're
or the
horrible.
internet beforehand
Yeah.
or really shortly after.
Yeah, you're right. So there would be more of a waiting for it to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and here on Twitch has this all the time. There are the way and I've seen this with UFC pay-per-views. Someone will put on their Twitch channel that they are playing UFC 23.
Yeah.
Like they're playing a video game and they've got their face, they're holding a controller and they're randomly doing this. They're just live streaming their event, like the UFC event.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like the algorithm on Twitch is just like, oh, they're just playing a video game. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there on my phone going, holy shit, he's just live streaming the fights.
Or in the background is yeah, okay.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
and I think that would happen
Yeah.
if it became a thing where it's like, yeah, no, we're not live streaming the Super Bowl. We're playing the new Madden game. And it happens between the two teams that are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you'd have a ton of people subscribing to somebody's Twitch channel. And it would be literally thousands of people doing that
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're
to get
right.
subscribers to their Twitch channel.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because I've always felt like my first thought when I heard that I couldn't watch the playoff game. Like if it was a
Yeah.
regular season's Chiefs Dolphins, I don't care.
Mhm.
But these games matter. So I was like, my first thought was, man, that's my right. Why are you taking away my right?
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's very much how it's been for so
And
long.
yeah, and so we're opening up a brand new world, but I seriously think this was a litmus test to see how it worked out. And
Yeah.
I'm interested to see the numbers. I don't know if the
Well,
numbers would come in yet, but
and they did it for the wild card game. Like,
yes.
I don't know if they'll do it. Are they doing it for any of the other games? I haven't
No,
heard.
I don't believe so. I mean, honestly, God, I hope not. I just know that if the Bears were doing that, I'd be pissed. I'd be
Yeah.
really upset
Yep.
about that whole thing that I couldn't watch the team just simply because of
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm looking in the playoffs now to see if anything comes up Peacock anymore. I don't see
Not,
it, but
not that I know of, but it is a weird move.
yeah,
It's weird to put it on Peacock and not the NFL Network streaming channel. I mean, other than you're right, Peacock just paid for it.
right.
Um, but it's the same as like Thursday Night Football. Like if you wanted to watch that, you had to have Amazon
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But
it's
I do
not
know a lot of people that
new.
went to the bars to watch Amazon Prime. I do know
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I
And
mean, so
again,
people are doing it.
from my understanding, you're not supposed to do it. I once tried to get my theater buddy be like, hey, if I get a group of guys together and we get a pay-per-view, can you show it on your big screen? And he's like, no. he's like,
Yeah.
he's like, no, that will get me in a lot of trouble. I could lose the whatever association he's a part of movie theater owners. He's like, that's a no-go. Like, we can't do
Wow.
that.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm just kind of shocked by that. I understand all of what you're saying, and
Mhm.
in a logical sense, it totally makes sense. But I just can't see that stopping anybody. That's like saying like nobody gambled on football until it became illegal. I mean, until it
Right.
became legal. Like you
And
still
I've heard of
gambled on it.
people like the one bar that I heard, because we were up in the Dells one year and there was a UFC fight, and I was like, oh, well, maybe my dad and I will go watch it. And so I found one bar. There was like an $87 cover charge and a 2-drink minimum. And I'm like, well, $87 is just the cost of the pay-per-view. Why they're like, yeah, we have to charge everybody. And I was
Ah,
like, no.
yeah.
Like, it was nuts.
Hey, Weapon X, welcome aboard. We have a question for you. I don't know if you just jumped on or not. Would you pay for a subscription to Peacock to watch the Bears playoff game, or would you go to a bar? So we'll just wait on that. I don't know if he heard us even talking about the whole
No,
that
I think he has. He's been on a little bit.
you can't do that, but
Well, and like you said, whether the idea is you can't or you're not supposed to, but people are going to.
yeah. Would you?
I don't. Would I?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if
Break the
somebody
law.
had it, yeah, like if the Bears were in a playoff situation, so we're talking years out,
Fuck you.
and you really wanted to watch it and you couldn't find a place to do it, you would come up here and watch it. You'd come up here and watch it with me. You would find a way to do it.
I don't know if I drive that far.
You wouldn't drive.
Not if Buffalo Wild Wings has it.
Well, no. I
Is
mean,
that
if they don't, like if other bars and establishments are
okay?
following the rules,
I get it. So if everybody in the world follow the rules,
then you find your one
then
friend that
yeah,
has
you
it.
find your one friend as Peacock. Got
And
it.
the thing that I saw about this was people were saying if you have Peacock already, don't worry about it. You're good.
Well,
But
of
if a
course I would
bunch
have
of
hoped so.
but if a bunch of new subscribers
Yeah.
signed up for these playoff games, then that's where they're going to be like, oh yeah, this is viable because look at all the new subscribers we got.
Right.
Now those new subscribers might be gone in 30 days or whatever it is, but
Right. Yeah. I was just wondering that. What's the drop? Like, how many people are canceling right now
well,
after
and
watching
looking
that
at the
Peacock?
comments, you can get a trial for $1 for 1 month. So yeah, I mean that would be
Oh yeah, you can do the free thing, right?
yeah. I mean there's got to be a trial offer, and I think that's what it is. And there's no staying power there. I mean, it would be a
Yeah.
one-time buy-in.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think the NFL is eventually going to go to like if you want to watch the AFC championship game, you gotta join the NFL subscription.
Well, and they'd be the only sport to do that, and so I think they would lose. I think it would be a loss.
You
I
think
don't think
so?
there's an yeah, I do.
I think so.
Because
I was one of those people that said London would never work. And they're going there
yeah,
all the time now. I honestly thought that. Would you
but
say,
there's a
Mark?
viewership there.
Said more than one game, it was going to be a set service, then I might get it. Got it. Okay. So Marshall, what you're telling me is if it was 5 games, you might get it.
But then why not do the NFL Network and have the playoff package where people
Did
can?
they do that?
Oh, do they?
No, I don't think so.
No. But like that's what I'm saying. Why not make it why use Peacock when you already have your
Oh, you're
own
talking about if you're the
established?
NFL.
Yeah, you already have
Yeah.
your own established streaming service.
Yeah. Okay.
You
That
make
makes
a
sense.
playoff package But the thing is, if it's the playoff package and there's still commercials,
Yeah.
that's going to piss a lot of people off because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, why am I paying to watch commercials? Or why am I paying to hear coverage from commentators that I don't even like? Like, there's got to be something more to it than just
Okay.
watching the game.
Makes sense. Let me ask you a question. You just went off or you brought up something that I've always heard people like bitch and moan about the announcers. Does that bother you?
The announcers
Yeah,
sometimes
it
like
does. Do you have a
it
certain
doesn't
person you don't like?
well, I'm not a big fan of Joe Buck.
Okay.
Because there's like the Buck Aikman team up.
Yeah.
It took somebody to really point it out to me, and I saw like a supercut of it where they were just really hating on the Packers for a long time. Like for whatever reason, they didn't like the Packers, and I'm like, no, they got to be these guys got to be neutral, right? And then I saw a supercut where it's like, I'm like, oh, okay, but there's some there's what's his name? Is it
Madden.
Greg something? Um,
Oh, Greg Olson.
yeah. I I kind of like him because he seems to be like a lovable adult who's just like, I played football and I know some stuff. And he goes in and he just says the weirdest shit, and you're like, kind of like this guy.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't pick that up when I listen to Greg Olson at all.
I do.
But okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And I again, it's not that I don't like him. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
Okay. That's fair.
I
I've never
you
cared
don't.
enough about those people. Like when someone's like, "Oh man, they're calling it." I've never cared.
But you have a service, don't you, where like you don't have to listen to that? Don't you? Because on Red Zone, isn't it? You can turn them off or something.
Oh, no, no. With Red Zone, you get your own commentator and he just goes through every game that's going on at that exact same moment. So I'm not hearing any of those people. But back in the day when I did hear all those people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I only watch Red Zone when the Bears aren't on, so it's usually the late game I'm watching Red Zone.
Okay.
But it's just I don't know. I just maybe I'm the odd one. I've never cared who called the game. It never bothered me. It bothers me depending on who the referees are when they're in their
That
histories.
yes, yeah,
That'll
and
upset me.
that's another thing when you watch it enough and you're like, oh, it's that reffing team.
Yeah,
Oh well, this will
exactly.
be interesting.
Yeah, then we're screwed type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's the only time that's ever bothered me. But and it's weird too when they have refs that are like when he refs, the Buccaneers are 0-6. You would think an
yeah,
ownership or a head coach be like, I don't want them refing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
look at their
Like,
record. It's clear
well,
as day.
isn't that the NFL that sets that up? Like they
Yeah.
assign the reffing teams, and
Yeah.
you have jack all to say about it.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't, I just, I've never been that. Like I said before, all comments welcome. Do you guys hate, the NFL announcers as much as it seems like the world does? Or am I the only one that doesn't care? It doesn't bother me?
Well, and other sports, I don't do they have because I don't really watch. Like I don't watch basketball. The only baseball I watch is the Brewers, and you know
Do
they're
you actually watch it or you just have it on in the background?
I catch a couple games a year. I don't
Okay.
really.
Like going there or like going to a bar, like an event type thing?
Oh well, if it's on at a bar, I will watch it.
Yeah.
Like at my house,
Yeah.
I've got on my TV. I've set up the teams that I want to keep track of,
Uh-huh.
and it gives me like a little pop up of like, hey, this game. It's like this sports game is going to start soon. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll watch sports game. Like what's going on, and so it'll tell me when the Brewers are playing, when the Bucks are playing. Two teams that I follow, but I don't watch religiously.
Okay.
Um, so it also comes up with the final scores when the
Oh, so
game is over.
like a little drop down menu will just tell
And a
you.
little pop up in the corner, the lower left hand corner on an
Yeah.
LG TV. It's just like, hey, the game's over. Here's the score, so I can tell who
Does it
won.
ever say like, hey, good game, close game, you might want to tune in?
No,
Okay.
no, it
All
just
right.
tells me the final score.
Okay.
But when I do watch a baseball game,
Hmm.
the Brewers, I mean, when Bob Uecker was announcing, like
Yeah.
you couldn't get any better than Bob Uecker. No one hated Bob Uecker calling a game ever. Um, So he was good, and then whoever the guy they have now is good too.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. So that's been good. I can't say that on a Bucks game I've ever been like, who is calling this game? Oh my god. Can't say that's ever happened.
Okay.
But for some reason in football, and I think it's maybe because there's more downtime in football, like
Yeah.
with the huddles and everything else, you're just like they got to fill that space with talking. So like when they're doing that, you're just like, okay.
Well,
Um,
I do appreciate when you have someone that has played the game and is explaining to you in a way that is malleable, like you can
mhm.
easily digest what they're saying about like whatever scheme. Because I don't know if you ever heard, but when you hear or if you watch a Hard Knocks and they're talking to somebody, they use this terminology, not just calling the play, but they use a terminology of like inside the numbers, outside the hash, all these things.
Yeah.
And you're like, why, what does outside the hash mean? When you go outside the hash, you float up that little Z up there and then you cut the corner for the slant and you're like,
Yeah.
I think I followed a little bit of what he just said.
The um and I don't know who that is, the GZD. Thank you
No,
for
but
being
hey,
here.
all
Um
comes welcome. If you listen to the
and you're
radio
right.
broadcast.
So for the game today, like when I did finally get in the car to listen to it, I was listening to the Packers radio network.
Yeah.
So very pro Packers. Um and then when I got home, I just turned on I turned on Peacock, and I was like, and honestly, I don't even remember who was calling the game. But I was like, okay,
I
whatever.
think Mike Tirico.
I think it was. Um,
But anyway,
so yeah, I mean, definitely if you're listening to your local station, they're going to be pro your home team.
well, yeah, I know when I listen to the Bears, it's Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer. Those have been
Yeah.
long time Bear people. So I mean, I understand that. But I'm just, well, again, I was just curious in terms of if anybody, because it seems like, and I get the people that I'm listening to on a daily drive when I'm listening to sports radio. I know it's what they do for a living. So they're a little
Mhm.
more critical on how you're presenting the game. So I understand their point of view. But I just thought, as a fan, do you really care who's calling the game? Like, I'm so locked into what my team's doing, I'm not really even paying attention to what they're saying.
I know people that do really
Yeah,
care.
I know, me
Um,
too. I wish I'm kind of shocked by it. I just thought, but I
and
think I'm the only one, really.
and this is as far as it goes. Like if
Yeah.
I see Aikman and Buck are calling a game, a Packer game, I just go,
Okay.
okay, and that's it. And then I mean, I can do dick about it. So it's just
Yeah.
moving on with life. It's like,
Got
okay,
it.
whatever.
Yeah. Hey, so you sent me something about Patrick Mahomes' cracked helmet because it was what
Yes,
negative.
it was.
I think it was -5, but a -33 wind chill.
I was gonna say, I heard -30s with the wind chill, and pre-game, I saw a little bit of that. They're like, they were calling for -11.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the wind chill was good. Somebody held up a sign that I saw that said we drove 620 miles for the warmer from Canada for the warmer weather. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But man, what a game. I mean, just for the
I didn't see
elements.
it.
And
I didn't see it.
it was cold. I mean, it was freaking cold.
But that's not did they say anything about a record? I mean, that might have been a record cold for Kansas City, but I don't think that was the record cold for NFL.
oh no, I don't think so. But it was interesting. I wish I would have sent it to you. I actually logged on to
Yeah.
Twitter/X for the first time in forever. And somebody they were very vocal. They're like, this is not the 1960s anymore. Teams that exist in these geographical regions, they should have a dome. People are going to get hurt. This is ridiculous. And I was like, that's interesting in an era where we can't hit a quarterback, in an era where any kind of big hit that we used to see is a flag, you know endangering people, fans and players, by having them be out and then -33 wind chill, and the NFL's like, it's football. I'm like, that's okay, that's not consistent. But
Wait,
anyway,
about what?
yeah, I mean, that's dangerous weather
Dangerous weather for whom? For everybody?
for, I think, for everybody. Yeah, I mean, even if you're a bundled up fan,
Yeah.
the shit can still happen in
No, of
-33.
course shit can still
So
happen, but I don't know. I'm old school. Like,
Well, yeah, you're in the it's football, but
yeah.
at the same time, when we talk about these, you can't hit the quarterback. You can't.
So you're talking about
You
player safety.
you yeah. When we're talking about player safety, but then because it's the elements, it's
Yes.
player safety, it's coaches safety, it's ref safety, it's the camera crew. It's I mean, it's everybody that's there,
Yeah.
from fans to people that work for the NFL to the vendors. I mean, it's
Yeah, but you could say the same thing on an 100-degree day.
you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I think putting every team in a you're not saying every team, but putting the cold weather teams in domes, it kind of takes away a home field advantage.
Mhm.
Like nobody likes to go to Kansas City when it's 50. Like nobody
Well,
likes to
no.
do that. You sent something to me and I didn't read the article. Because I heard about the cracked helmet, but you said underneath your text this bullshit. What did you mean
Okay.
by this bullshit?
So
Yeah.
so his and you saw the crack helmet, like you saw it fly off his helmet, and
Yes.
then this
Yes.
big
Yeah,
jagged chunk.
I saw plays of it. Yeah.
And I think he played like three or four plays with this cracked helmet.
Yeah.
One where his helmet was cracked, why he didn't immediately get forced to go into concussion protocol, I don't understand that. Like for the force to make his helmet crack,
Yeah.
he should have immediately been put into a tent. Like
Okay.
so that's
I
no so
don't
that's number
think
one.
hang on, let's pause on that for a second because I think, and I don't know, I can't remember what his helmet looks like, but if you know that the new helmets nowadays, they all have these cuts in them, like
Yeah.
vents, and they never
Hmm.
used to have that before. And so I'm saying that part, it's like, so if I were to do it like this, and this is a whole really crude, but if that's kind of how it is on the front of helmets,
Yeah,
right?
no, I understand what you're saying,
So
but
I'm
I
saying
mean,
it's easier to crack that one in the really cold, like in the ice bowl. I don't think any cracks helmets happen there.
no, but take a look at this. I mean, look at that thing.
Yeah, I see
I mean,
that.
it's
I see
it's
that now.
it's numerous, like this whole section popped out.
Yeah.
I mean, there it is.
What I'm saying though is, okay, yes, you're right. He should have been brought in for concussion, but if he's not showing any, I don't know. I mean,
But
this is such a yes, I know the cracked helmet, but what I'm saying is I don't think the outer shells are as strong as they used to be.
like you think that because this inner shell, this black piece area here, yeah, I don't, you know what? I'm still
I
going to disagree.
that's cool because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the science behind helmet making.
Because we've seen guys that have gotten hit
Yeah.
with lesser hits. I mean, I understand it was probably so cold that's why the helmet cracked. But we see guys that, they get hit and they pop up right away. They're like, and then all of a sudden New York calls is like, nope, send him to the tent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then he's got to go to the tent and
Right.
they got to do their thing. Um, I think if a player's helmet is cracked
Yeah.
and broken, that is enough head trauma to break something. Like Mahomes should have been in the tent for that.
Okay.
The
I
the
can't disagree. Yeah.
the other thing that I think is bullshit, and this is why I sent it to you, is Mahomes was allowed to go to the sideline, do like get a different helmet, and then cousin Clay said it's the fourth coldest game was the Kansas game.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Um,
Hey, Clay.
so
Glad you found us.
yeah, I like the cousin Clay tag. The Where's it going with that? Oh yeah, so Mahomes came out,
Right.
got a new helmet. Like they had to stop the game so that he could get his new helmet. They were not charged with a timeout. They didn't lose. Like literally, like even the commentators were like, they should have been forced to take a timeout so that he could have an equipment, or he would have had to sit out a play. They would have had to put in the sub or his backup for that at least one play for him to get a new helmet so that he could run back on the field and finish the series. They didn't do
Okay.
any of that.
They
They
didn't
just
do any of that.
allowed them to take their time to get a new helmet. I'm like, that would not happen with another team. They
Got
let
it. I see where you're going with now.
it
Okay. Okay.
was just like, oh no, Kansas City, go ahead. And this has been a recurring theme that we've heard this year
Yeah.
of refs having leniency, of like all this shit, just to push things Kansas City's way, because Kansas City's a moneymaker.
Yeah.
And the longer they stay in the playoffs and everything
more
else, the better
relevant.
it is for the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, if I was Miami, I would be making a big stink about that.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. I do know that that's how it goes. It's been like that since the 80s with the Niners, the 90s with the Cowboys. It was like that with the Patriots. The Patriots seem to get always a call to help them out. I think that's how it goes. But so I understand what you're saying. But it's the same thing in the NBA. If you're an all-star, you get a call where if you're a backup, you don't get that call as the all-star does. That's how it fucking is, unfortunately. But it does suck. It does suck because
but in a time of like just absolute scrutiny, where everything is replayed, like it happened in the Packer game today, and it happened where they a guard moved and they didn't call it, which resulted in a touchdown. And it was right before the half when the Cowboys scored. And so, I mean, and you've got LaFleur, just he's like, they're showing him the guard fucking moved. You can read his lips.
Yeah.
And they're like, sorry. I'm like, is that reffing crew going to get, I mean, they should get fined for that.
No, they get graded, and their grades depend on how far they go. And if they go far, they get paid more for each one, right? So they are getting graded for that. It's not the pound of flesh you want, but they get graded for that, and that has an effect on their pay. It has an effect on if they move forward, and because only the best graded crews are in the playoffs. What's amazing to me is that LaFleur saw it from his vantage point.
Yeah, everybody saw it.
And the other guy didn't, because like on the sidelines, I don't know if you've ever been on the sidelines. I don't know if you've ever been on the sidelines of football. It's hard to follow as well as if you were to watch it on TV. You know, so I'm always impressed but I think that's a lot of just time and experience. You just on there, you know what you're looking for as you keep going. But I always find it difficult. But anyway, Clay, I wanted to ask you, what is the Green Bay Dallas one back in the 60s? Is that still the coldest on record, or was it Cincinnati versus San Diego? Let me know if you could look that up. The coldest NFL game, because I would wonder what that is. And how do they judge that? Do they judge it by temperature or wind chill?
I would
think?
guess it's wind
Temperature,
chill.
right?
Coldest
Wind
game
chill.
in league history means -13, so there's no wind chill there. In 1967 championship when the Packers beat the Cowboys
Packers and the Cowboys.
Field.
Okay.
So that's the Ice Bowl.
Okay.
That day the wind chill was at a -48 degrees.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
They didn't have warming things back then, did they?
They had like heaters and stuff, but certainly
Jeez.
certainly not like we have now.
Jeez, man, that's crazy.
That is, and I read the guy that was talking about teams that should have domes. He was talking about Buffalo, because Buffalo had to call out their
did you see that today?
Yeah,
Did you
the
see that
Bills
on social
Mafia.
media?
Can you come shovel the stadium?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, we can't have the game here. And that's where he's like, this is ridiculous. Like, this shouldn't be a thing anymore.
I see.
And I was like, you try putting a dome over Lambeau Field, and you're going to see like an uprising.
Yeah, they are putting a dome in Buffalo.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, their new stadium is, from what I remember, it's a dome. I saw the renderings of it. You know, so I don't know if renderings are just imagine this versus what it actually is. I don't know, but it looked to me like it was pretty much a dome.
And this is where you follow football much closer than me, because like I'm not keeping track of what teams are doing with their fields. I mean,
yeah.
I'll keep a little bit of track of what's happening at Lambeau, but
no, I understand. Like I said, there's like we're both like that. There's so much stuff about D&D and comics that I will never scratch the surface to even understanding. So I understand that. I was going to ask you, are you caught up on college football? Like in terms of, do you know the new rules, the transfer portals, the
Not a
the
lot.
NIL?
Not a lot.
Okay.
I know Michigan won
Okay. Okay.
the college playoff,
So
but
I had this question for you, and I guess again, all comments welcome on Johnny and the Greg. My question is, has college football, have they gone too far in terms of the transfer portal, where if a guy doesn't like what's going on in his place, he can just go anywhere he wants,
mhm,
where big time universities can offer somebody more money now,
mhm,
and then he can just go that way, to the point where people are now sitting out of bowl games if it doesn't mean anything,
yeah,
and what do you think about all that? Because again, I'm old school. I realize I'm old school. I realize I like the way things are. I'm getting to that point in my age where I'm like, shit was better when I was younger.
yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Um,
So it just,
eh,
I see so many, it's becoming the collegiate atmosphere. You're not doing it for the university anymore. You're doing it for you,
yeah,
which is fine. I'm not begrudging anybody from getting money. I'm just saying,
that we're super close to paying college players, and there are enough people talking about it.
oh, Greg, they are.
That
That's what NIL is. They're
oh,
paid.
that's what I
Oh, they're getting paid now.
like a salary per game, or like this is news to me then.
Okay, so if, and here's the other thing. I'm trying to think of somebody right now. Arch Manning, who hasn't played. He's a freshman or sophomore for the University of Texas. He's the
Yeah.
quarterback of Cooper Manning, who is the brother of Peyton and Eli. I believe I got that right.
Oh, let's name an image and likeness. Okay.
Yeah. So Arch
So
Manning got paid. I think it's 14 million,
okay.
right? And he hasn't played a down yet.
Is that from the school though?
No, not the school. It's paid from. So I think a part of it actually is the school, because name, image, and likeness. So if they sell an Arch Manning jersey,
Okay.
he gets a cut of that.
Okay. See, I think I'm looking at this, the Jaden Maivia for 508,000 is his NIL value.
Okay.
Um, so okay. Yes, I'm aware of this, the name,
Yes.
image, and likeness stuff. What I was talking about was like the school paying players,
Yeah.
not for their name, image, and likeness, but to, if you want to come to school here, not only are we going to give you free tuition, but we're going to pay you to play X sport.
Well, yeah. What
Um,
I'm saying is that's happening now. That all you need is a booster.
right.
Yeah.
There's what you're saying is it's not as direct as what I'm saying,
Okay.
but there's ways around
Right.
it.
So
The
Jim from Whitewater can pay a player there, but you're saying Whitewater itself.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if a booster, like
Yeah.
some guy who started a corporation who went to school at Whitewater can say, well, I'll gift this kid
Uh-huh.
certain things, or just straight up cash in an envelope, whatever, appreciation card, uh, to play football there. Um, I saw the value for when the bowl games is before New Year's, when all the bowl games were getting going. I saw what each, they broke it down, the major bowl game. Here's what each school gets just for going to the bowl
For
game.
the ball game.
And then here's what the winner is going to get, or what the winner school gets for winning the, and it was millions.
Yes.
Like not just like single digit, we're talking triple digit millions
Right.
to a school for winning a bowl game. And I'm like, obviously this is no longer about kids, because none of that money is getting dumped into the education of your typical student at that university. It's
Probably
going
not
straight,
anymore. Probably not anymore.
and that's where I'm like, this is, you might
So
as
yeah,
well,
so
you
it
might
did
as
go.
well just make
Yeah.
it and make it a mini NFL or the NFL farm team.
Oh, it's been
Um,
that for years.
well,
The
yeah,
NFL
just,
part.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, but call it what it is,
Right.
and just start doing that. So yeah, I don't know. You
Okay.
know,
I feel like we're on a slippery slope with no guardrails. That's how
yeah,
I feel this is what this is going to become. It's going to get really ugly, because if a like I'm going to go back to one of my players that I've always liked, Tom Brady, right? He said that he got there freshman year, never started a game until senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And he said those were meaningful years of me learning my craft, understand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like earning it in a way,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now that's gone because if you don't like what's going on, you can just go in somewhere else. Go in the transfer portal, you can go
Yep.
somewhere else and start. And it's almost like I don't want to say lack of character building, but there's a part of that that is disappearing to
Mm-hmm.
where, hey man, you don't need to struggle here. Just go somewhere else where you'll succeed. And I'm wondering, is that bad? Is that is that not bad? Because the way I
It's
just described it, I thought to myself, well, if he's succeeding somewhere else instead of just sitting there.
there is a factor of go get what you can while you can.
Okay.
Because well, I can't remember what the percentage is of kids that play college ball that actually like D1 college football that go pro
I think
is
it's
still
1%. I think it's
it's yeah, I'd
1%.
say it's still a very small number.
Very small.
Um so get what you can while you're in college. I mean,
Got it. Okay.
I
Okay.
kind of I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm not sure I agree with it, but I get it.
Right.
But the thing is, for that 1% that do go to the NFL, it's teaching them the wrong lesson because when you're under contract, you can't just leave. Like, you can't be like, you know what? I don't like what's happening with this team. I'm going to go play for somebody else next year. No, you're under contract.
No, you can't. You can now. That's what I mean.
Well,
All you got to say is, I want to trade.
maybe. I mean, but there's still contracts. I mean, even if
Yeah,
you're
but
doing,
I've seen it happen 100 times. Like I might be going, maybe you're just talking about football, but I've seen James Harden on the NBA. If he doesn't like something, he just starts fucking around and he demands a trade and they
yeah,
boom, they trade him and he gets his way. And so the NBA kind of the way they treat their athletes, it's trickling down to the NFL where people, if they don't like how it's going, just
well,
fucking
yeah.
trade
And
me.
there's a lot of people that in the NBA, like with their breaks, like like I can't play tonight. I need a break. And
Yeah.
so they're
Yeah.
just like,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
we're not going to play our star
Raising
player.
a bunch of sissies.
Yeah, I mean,
People calling for domes.
to hear like Charles Barkley talk about that, he's like, what the hell?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Michael too. Michael
yeah.
laughs. He's like, "What do you mean your ankle hurts?"
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing, Clay.
See, and
I'm
this
as
is
sober
where,
as I can get right now. Can you
yeah,
tell
me
the
too.
energy's low?
And this is where like I watch football,
Yeah.
but then after football season's over, it's back to like 100% nerd. Like I'm really not paying much attention to anything. If the
Yeah.
Milwaukee Bucks,
Yeah.
when if and when they get into the playoffs, and they're looking pretty good this year from what I could tell.
I think the second
Um,
best team in the East.
yeah, then I'll start to pay attention again in June
Well,
when
that's
when
yeah,
they
that's when I pay attention to NBA after March Madness.
yeah, I will pay attention to college basketball in March
Yep.
for a couple weeks in March.
Yep.
Um, NBA in June, MLB.
Never. That's me.
Yeah, kind of like
I don't care.
like are the Brewers making it to the playoffs this year? No. Okay. And then I
Yeah.
just go on with my day.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I don't pay attention to hockey at all. I think I would
I
like I
I
think
was
I
just
would
gonna say
like
that.
to.
I think I want to, but I never find myself being able. I think the problem is, Greg, do you know anything about hockey?
Not a lot.
I don't know anything
Not a
about
lot about
hockey.
the rules. Like
So I feel that if I need to sit down with somebody that's into hockey, that's patient enough to explain it to me.
but it's got to be for like more than one game. It can't just be
Right.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like I have to invest myself in a season,
yeah.
but that's 86 games of hockey. And I have nothing against it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I've watched every single Blackhawks playoff game but didn't know half the time what I was looking at. I was like, just get the freaking puck in the hole. Like, I didn't know they switch offense and defense on the fly. I didn't know that.
What's that?
Did you know that they
There.
do that?
Oh yeah, switch on the fly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I never knew they did that.
I've gone to a couple like Milwaukee Admirals games, which is not like the big hockey league, but um, I mean, it's fun to watch. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm a little bit like season 1 of Ted Lasso when they're trying to teach him the rules of soccer,
Yeah,
but it's hockey, and I'm just like, I don't understand icing. Like why? And he's just like,
me too.
he's like, why is that offsides? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I've
Hey,
I've had it explained to me in a game where a guy just did it, and I'm like,
I don't get it.
okay.
Thank you. I was the only one that thought that because I have a friend that I have a family member, big time hockey player. He's explained it to me 3 times, and I'm just for dumb reasons. I can't
I
tell him
remember
again.
playing 8-bit Nintendo ice hockey, and my brother and I are playing. I get called for icing, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah. What, Greg? What is cousin Clay saying here? I got some Penelope
Penelope Architects, I think is what he's drinking. Yeah,
6 years
celebration badge.
celebration badge, neat out of a Crystal Glencairn
I think that's his
bourbon.
that's
Thank you.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all you needed to say. Talk about icing all over again.
Well,
Tell me you're a bourbon snob without telling me you're a bourbon snob.
I didn't know he was a bourbon guy. But
Can you explain bourbon again to me? Between bourbon and whiskey.
uh
I heard it's if it's in Kentucky, it's bourbon. Anywhere else,
correct.
it's whiskey.
That's what I was told when I was in Kentucky. And yet I know
That's
like when
correct.
I
Thank you, cousin Clay.
that yeah, that's and I've been told there's something about the Kentucky spring water, and that's what makes it bourbon. And but
Okay.
you go to the distillery, um, Driftless Glen up in Wisconsin, and they're like, no, we make bourbon. And they call it bourbon and they get away with it.
Okay. So
But
whiskey
the
is
other people will
bourbon,
be like
bourbon's
that.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Potato, potato.
and it has something to do, it had something to do with the water, and it had something to do with the percentage of the mash, which is the grains that
Yes.
ferment.
Yes.
Like you have to do that. I mean, there's a lot of rules to if you're on the bourbon trail in Kentucky, there's a lot of rules you need to follow. It has to be in a charred oak barrel, and it has to all the barrels need to be fresh. You can't reuse any barrels.
Okay.
So I think that's part of the definition of what makes bourbon bourbon.
Bourbon. Okay. All right. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Anything else is whiskey, and you know what? I used to care, but now I don't.
Yeah. Speaking of caring, have you watched Echo? Do you care to watch
Nope.
Echo?
No,
Neither do
not,
I.
I will watch it maybe when all the episodes are
When
out.
I'm folding laundry.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just not something. What we have been watching is Brother's Son on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Fantastic,
Brother's
fantastic show.
Son.
The Brother's Son, SUN. It is
Oh, SUN. Okay.
yep. It stars Michelle Yeoh as a mother who's raising a son in California, and two brothers separated at a very young age, not at birth, but at a very young age. And one was raised in Taiwan in the mafia. Like their dad is a big mafioso. So the one brother is he's a mob son. He knows he knows how to fight. He knows the all the illegal illicit businesses that the Yakuza are a part of. Um, that's his life.
Mm-hmm.
The other brother, who was raised in America, is going to med school. So California raised, going to med school, and is really into improv. So it's a comedy action, really good, like really good. Yeah, we're enjoying.
It's a series. It's not a movie.
It's a series, 8 episodes. Watching it with the family. It's been good. So that's been good. I saw Mean Girls today, the musical. Yeah, my daughter really wanted to go see it, so we did.
Okay.
It's weird being of an age where you know a movie that came out, you watched it when it came out,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was made into a musical, which was a big hit as a musical, and then they've taken the musical and did that as a movie again. Like I've seen all, like I've been alive for
Got
all
it.
three iterations of that.
Got it.
It I think the first movie is better acted for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
the woman who is the voice of Moana is the standout star in this movie. She plays Janice,
Okay.
uh the friend who
Does she
originally
look like
had
Moana?
a little bit. A little
Okay.
bit. I mean, and she's very punk in this movie.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's got like the fun eyeliner and dresses, kind of alternative, I would say. But her voice, oh, it's powerful. Like
Yeah.
you could tell, like this is out of everybody in this movie who is like a vocalist first,
Yeah.
or vocalist versus actress. They all had decent voices, but you could tell it's like you're an actress first, or you're an actor
Yes. Right.
first,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
you're an actor with a good voice. This person, I can't remember. It's like Ovalo something with a C. I can't remember her last name. Like she is a vocalist first, and then also a really good actress. I mean, she's
Wow.
got it. She's got a good package going on. And they featured her in some big numbers where she gets to belt, and you're just like, oh, this is enjoyable.
Okay.
So yeah, when she's on screen and singing, it's fun.
All right. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez, Clay's coming out here. What do we got here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ground is still talking to the Burbon, talking about Echo on Friday, but yeah, unrelated to the MCU. I, who played Tim Meadows? Tim Meadows played Tim Meadows. Uh, that's part of him
In
and
Mean
Tina.
Girls? Is that what you're
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah. From those were the only two of the original cast that came back were Tim Meadows and Tina Fey
Okay.
playing the same roles that they did. Um, they twisted up their parts a little bit. They added a different twist to it, but it didn't matter. But no, it was, I'm not mad that I saw it.
Okay. Yeah. Going back to Echo, that's not even an interesting comic book character.
No, like I don't, other than the representation piece of it,
Yeah.
it's a weird flex for them to do.
It is. I don't really know why they went there. I didn't think that my microphone's messing up on me. I didn't really understand why they they felt the need to go further with her. She didn't stand out to me in that was it She-Hulk? What was she in? Oh, the
Uh,
Hawkeye, the
she's in
Hawkeye,
the Hawkeye
the
series.
Hawkeye Christmas special, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Hawkeye series. Yeah, she didn't stand out to me enough to want to like, yeah, I want to know about her.
Well, she's a
Yeah.
Daredevil
Yeah,
spinoff.
I know. I've
What? I guess I don't understand. Like you're not making any forward motion on Daredevil. Like we hear you are, but we don't really know.
right.
Like, I mean, are they filming? Did they finish? The
Am
writer's
I
strike screwed all that up.
am I
So
wrong, Clay? Isn't Daredevil in it?
I hear it. Yeah, he makes an appearance.
Yeah.
But more
Found it
interesting
more interesting.
that the native actors were from the reservation dogs. But then I got that they're
Yes.
both. Yeah.
Okay.
What's interesting, I think, about the main character is that she's a Wisconsinite, and went to the School of the Deaf in Delavan.
Oh,
Because
she's really deaf?
she really is.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I didn't know that.
Um,
Okay.
which great, great representation. And she is a First Nation person. So she's Native American. And I'm like, great, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it has nothing, like my lack of interest in the show has nothing to do with those things. It
Right. Yeah.
has,
I
it's
understand.
just like, and an amputee. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like all of those things, I'm just like, what interests me the most is that I want to see how they do Wilson Fisk, because they're
Yeah.
making him maybe a mutant. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm eventually gonna sit down and watch it. Like
Right.
probably
You're just
when
not
the
in a
whole thing
hurry.
is out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am in no hurry. But I feel that way a little bit, even if they were to come out with a new Star Wars show like soon. I'd be like, I'm in no hurry to watch any of these
Oh,
things
you're talking
because
about on
they're
Disney Plus.
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
with Disney's big properties that I'm into with Marvel and Star Wars,
Yes.
there's really nothing that's out there right now that's getting my blood pumping, as in like, ooh, I really want to see that.
I agree. I don't care if I
really
ever
nothing.
see a Mandalorian again.
Yeah, like
Yeah. I'm
they're
done.
just not doing the projects that I was having a conversation with a guy today about what Disney has done with Star Wars and things like that. I'm honestly more interested in the Star Trek universe right now because that to me there's some more solid writing in there. They're taking the series in different directions with multiple shows, and I'm like, this is good writing. It's good science fiction.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
even if it wasn't Star Trek, I'd be into this.
Yeah.
But right now, like Apple is just cleaning up in so many different genres. Like if you're not watching Monarch, you should be
Okay.
because it is fantastic.
Yeah.
That show.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, like high quality. Like everything on Apple is has been high quality. Like everything that I've watched, I'm like, this is fantastic. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I still
that's
haven't
kind of my
jumped on
thing.
the Apple thing yet because Ursula and I were talking about we should pick up one more subscription. And she was like, well, which one? You want Paramount Plus? Do you want Peacock? Do you want? I'm like, I don't want to watch the Friends. I don't need to watch Friends over again on Peacock.
Well,
I don't see the point in getting Peacock.
I would say wait on Paramount because they're talking about a merger with Warner Brothers, in which case everything's going to be shifted over there anyway.
No,
If I were
there
you,
you
I would
go.
go for Apple.
Apple?
Like if I didn't have all of those already, or if I was looking to drop two and keep one of them, I would keep Apple.
What did he find? I found Cousin Clay. I found Weird on Blu-ray. Watched that finally, and it was good. Weird Al humor.
Oh,
Oh, the Al humor. The Al
yeah, the Weird Al,
Weird Al.
which
Okay.
was that was Roku put that out. I haven't even seen that
No.
yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
you'd be
the
all over that.
I am
Yeah.
all over it, but I don't
Yeah.
have a Roku, so that
Um.
would have been a good one to see. Um, yeah, yeah, I would like to. I probably could go grab a copy of that. And there's been a lot of stuff, a lot of big push to go back to physical media, to actually
Yeah.
buying physical media because there are some people that bought movies on Sony on PlayStation Network
Yeah.
that Sony just went, yeah, we're getting rid of those movies. So even though you paid for them, didn't matter. They took them off, and
Oh.
people were pissed.
Yeah.
So
Of
yeah,
course.
there's still a push for physical media out there that I'm like, I get it. I really get it.
Yeah.
So
All right, Greg. I think it's time for that Polyjamoury.
yeah, I was just looking that up.
Yeah.
I found a real interesting band.
Okay. Is this really interesting?
Well, their name really caught me.
Okay. Like, am I
Well,
gonna go, what the fuck, Greg?
I think maybe
Okay.
not with their music, just with the name. Let me move this over here. Dismiss that.
Jesus, we've talked for an hour. I didn't even know that.
Well, when you get talking football.
You say that like
So
it's a bad thing.
no, not necessarily. So this is an artist. They're pretty small time. But I did find them on uh found them on the TikTok. And let me share my screen.
The TikTok.
They're from Chicago. So their name is Malort and Savior.
Okay.
Oh, don't get it like Malort and Savior, like Malord and Savior, but Malort. But
I
they're a
didn't get
punk
it until
band,
you just said that.
punk band that I found.
Yes.
I believe it was Be Cool or Beat It was the song that I listened to on there.
All right.
So again, I don't know much about them. They were really cool. I even gave them a shout out on their TikTok page, and because they did a whole "Our Name is Malort and Savior," I'm like, that alone is going to get you featured on my podcast. So here we go. We'll do this one. It's not playing, is it?
It is not.
Okay, yeah, that's because I didn't actually share my sound like I thought I did. Here we go. For reals this time.
Sounds like Sonic.
A little bit.
Okay.
Real kind of punk kind of feel
I
to
feel
them.
Green Day in that.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. That was
So-
Malloy and Savior.
Malort and Savior.
Malort and Savior.
Have you had Malort? Have you ever actually done a shot of Malort?
Of course not. I didn't even know it was a drink.
Oh my God. It's like this famous Chicago drink.
No shit.
Like, oh yeah. Yeah. And it's god awful. Like it is terrible.
Yeah, what does it taste like? Closest thing.
I've never had anything like it.
Have you
honestly.
ever had what's it called? I don't fuck this up. Absinthe?
Absinthe?
No, absinthe?
Yeah, I've had absinthe. Yeah.
But by itself or with something?
No, by itself. Like made correctly with the sugar cube and the flame and yeah.
Okay.
I had it
and
the first time I ever
and-
had it was in New Orleans. It's a little licoricey.
Oh,
Super
that's
strong.
right. I've
Super
had it. I
strong.
couldn't remember what it
I was gonna say, didn't you have it when we were at Gen Con?
Yes, I remember it now with the licorice. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the like we didn't even have it the right way. We just put sugar packets in it and tried to stir it up. You're supposed to like pour it over a sugar cube.
Oh, Eric brought it.
Yeah. And then you light it on fire and that melts the sugar cube to really get it to mix in.
Oh, yeah.
With
Good
the
thing
green.
we.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a good
it's
thing we
super
didn't bring
strong.
fire into it.
Not that weekend.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So it's good. Malort, people compare Malort to like Jägermeister, not in taste, but in terms of like just severeness of a drink. But
Okay.
I actually I don't hate Jaeger.
Okay.
I don't drink Jaeger, do Jaeger shots like by themselves anymore.
Yes.
But when I did, I'm like, it's not terrible. It's strong, but it's not terrible. I can get down with this. I've had one shot of Malort my entire life, and I will do what I can to never have it again.
Okay, I get that. All right, man. I think this is about time we hang this up for the day.
So I'll stop that.
Did you know that today's National Dress Your Pet Day? What would you dress your pet as?
We have Star Wars sweaters for my dogs.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Do they, when they put it on, do they feel they can't move and they just stand still?
They don't like them.
They don't
Like
like 'em.
they're not a fan. But like in this, I mean, I have small dogs, and in this like kind of
You got to put it on them.
like -10, we put them on them, and they're just like,
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I would dress up Ham. I used to do that with my other dog. Like I used to have a sweater for her, but
Yeah.
that's it.
My oldest daughter loves dressing up the dogs for Halloween. Like she
Yeah,
loves
I get that. I mean, I've seen those little TikTok videos or the videos where the little dogs look like they're a teddy bear running after you.
Yeah, she loves that shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, some people would call that pet abuse, but I wouldn't. Yeah. All right, man. That's it. Thank you very much out there, Twitch world. Oh, Greg. Oh my God. Take us out, sir. I forgot.
All right. Well, yep, is yep, just finally seeing Clay's comment. It is terrible.
Terrible.
So yeah, as you're going throughout your week, some of you might have a shortened week with MLK Day being tomorrow. Thank you for everything that you did for this country.
Yes.
And yeah, as we're going through that, just remember, don't be a douche.
There you go. For the Greg, this is Johnny saying Merlot and Savior. Take us out.
Lord and Savior.
Merlort and Savior. Take us out.